Hello everybody and welcome to another Movie Hooker YouTube video, and today I'm going to be going through what is getting released on Shudder this April. Now I have had a quick browse through it to sort of maybe prepare myself for what I'm about to talk about, but I've really only had a browse through it. It's quite a short list, where April's quite a quiet month for Shudder. Bella, what do we say about this? You can't be getting pets when I'm trying to do YouTube videos. You know what I mean? I'll give you all the pets in the world in a while. What? No. Boo, stop it now. Right, let me find the email here. It was... I should just fucking type Shudder in, shouldn't I? Okay, here we go. Shudder April Film Streaming Guide, brought to you by Movie Hooker for Shudder. Right, okay, so let's get stuck straight into it. Here's what's coming to Shudder in April. Please let us know if you have any interest in covering the below films. So first up, we have Kids versus Aliens. Now, that's a very stupid name, isn't it? But this, I can guarantee you, is going to be a lot of fun. I've been looking forward to this. It's actually featured in a Movie Hooker list somewhere. You can check out on moviehooker.com. So, Kids vs. Aliens is directed by Jason Eisner. So, if that name's starting to ring a bell, who's Jason Eisner? He is the guy who brought us the glorious, obscure Hobo with a Shotgun, starring the late but unbelievably awesome Rutger Hauer. I was introduced to Rutger Hauer a very young age, before I even started watching horror movies. Funnily enough, I was introduced to Rutger Hauer and horror movies by the exact same person, and that was my grandmother, Sadie Gamble. And I'll just not talk about the horrors. I'm doing this right now, talking about primarily horror. Movie Hooker covers a lot of horror. It's all because of my grandmother. She gave me this obsession. But anyway, the first Rutger Hauer movie I watched was a movie called Blind Fury, which is sort of, I guess, when I sort of learned a little bit more about cinema, it wasn't a remake, but it was like a play on Zaitouchi with Takeshi Kitano, and about a blind swordsman, played by Rutger Hauer. So there you go. That was my first introduction to Rutger Hauer, and I've loved the man ever since. I love him even more now that I realized the awesomeness that my grandmother showed me back in those days. But anyway, yeah, this is from that director, Jason Eisner. I'm pretty sure Hobo with a Shotgun was his first movie. And Kids, I actually know this from the article that I wrote. Kids versus Aliens is a feature-length adaptation of one of the segments from one of the VHS movies, VHS 2, maybe? Does it say here? No, but I think it was called Slumber Party Alien Abduction Massacre or something like that. But this looks pretty much identical, only it's a feature-length. The whole Kids versus Aliens, I think this will be along the level of the movies like Attack the Block, where it's actually going to be funny and it's actually aimed at sort of a more adult audience than it is for like little kids getting brought to the cinema. Kids versus Aliens, there's actually an animated movie out there called Monsters versus Aliens, as far as I know. No, I do know, actually. Okay, so let's read the synopsis for Kids versus Aliens. Now, very good name here. All Gary wants is to make awesome home movies with his best buds. All his older Samantha wants is to hang out with the cool kids. When their parents head out of town one Halloween weekend, an all-time rager of a teen house party turns into terror when aliens attack, forcing the siblings to band together to survive the night. So, yeah, as I say, it looks like a lot of fun. It looks quite gory and stupid. And it's everything. It looks to be everything a movie called Kids vs. Aliens should be. So that's Kids vs. Aliens. That's one of the originals that's hitting Shudder. Okay, I should tell you when it's getting released. That's coming to Shudder US UKI. UKI? Are they putting UK and Ireland there together? I don't know. I think they are. It's a bit of a typo there. That would anger a lot of people from Ireland. No, it's going to be available everywhere, worldwide on Shudder, pretty much, and it's going to hit there on the 14th of April. Okay, so the next one we have is, I've never heard of this before, which is always good as well. It's called From Black. It is directed by Thomas Marchese, don't know, something like that. And this is coming to Shudder on April 28th. The synopsis reads, a young mother crushed by guilt after the disappearance of her young son 5 years previously is presented with a bizarre offer to learn the truth and set things right. But how far is she willing to go? And is she willing to pay the terrifying price for a chance to hold her boy again? Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like it's been, the missing son and the mother having to do something to get the son back. Sort of seems like been done 1,000 times. But anyway, that sounds really good as well. So we'll be checking that out. I can't really say anything else on that. Let me just actually go and find out who Thomas Marchese is. I'm going to say Marchese because it sounds a little bit snobbier. What did you call that? From Black. Okay. It's got in fairness, it's got a really cool cover. It's got a really cool poster. It's sort of like I don't know, some sort of demonic creature in a long black veil dress. Something else that you sort of see, Okay, here's a different synopsis here. Recovering drug addict, desperate for closure and saddled by crushing guilt after the disappearance of her young son, is presented with a bizarre offer to learn the truth of what happened and set things right. Is she willing to pay the terrifying price? How dark is she willing to go for a chance at redemption? So, yeah, no, this does sound good. And guys, everything's well worth checking out because Shudder's well worth it. You know what I mean? You're getting original movies every month, horror movies, and then loads of oldies, and it's like fucking $4.99 or something. It's like £1.25 a week, and that's really, really good. Plus, and by doing so, you're really supporting independent filmmakers. And the more people watch, the more people rate it. I think it's very important to rate a movie after watching it. I do it all the time on Netflix. If you look at my Netflix account, or my Netflix, what's the word? Fucking library. It's completely different. Johnny down the street, or Mary over in the town. You know what I mean? It's completely different. My stuff, because I rate everything. I even go into shit that I don't even watch, and I know that'll hit, i.e. Marvel stuff, Spider-Man, or fucking Iron Man, or the Superman, or all the mans. And I go in and say, don't like, and it really helps. And what I'm trying to say is this helps with the independent filmmakers when usually horror is made on a fraction of the budget that a superhero movie is on. Horror's probably made for the same amount of money it would cost to make Robert Downey Jr.'s fucking chair that he sits on during takes, or between takes, sorry. Anyway, right, geez, lost it there. Okay, what was I saying? Who is Thomas Marchese? That's right. Okay, so it doesn't look to have a lot, and this actually could be his feature-length debut, which is exciting. So he's directed 4 things. Far Black is one of them. I Did Not Forget You, which is a short from 2015. He's okay. Maybe he has directed a movie called Fallen in 2017. Fallen reads. It's a documentary. Okay, so I think this is actually his feature length debut, which is exciting. So his documentaries there, it looks really good as well. It's got a 6.8 in IMDb. It's called Fallen. and it's a humanising look at line of duty police officers across the country and how these losses affect those to the fallen as well as the communities they serve. Anyway, a little bit unrelated. But yeah, okay, so back to my press release. So that is From Black, directed by and written by Thomas Marchese. It is get released on Shudder on April 28th. And yeah, it's about a mother who is looking to get her missing son back again, has to go to extreme lengths to do so, like they always do, all those movies. Right, guys, as I say, that is the last of the Shudder originals. So, like, this is a pretty, I don't know where the Shudder, like, people were during April, because that is all the originals that we have. So we're going to go into now, which is always equally as good, the segment which is called Shudder Resurrected. Shudder Resurrected. Right, okay, straight in, we got the Slumber Party Massacre. That's a pretty classic, slasher classic, directed by Amy Holden Jones, and that is streaming on Shudder April 3rd. Synopsis: a female high school student slumber party turns into a bloodbath as a newly escaped psychotic serial killer wielding a power drill prowls her neighborhood. That's quite a classic. Okay, next up we have Magic from 1978. This, I think, is the OG. Is this the OG of, like, where we got to see, like, a killer doll or, an evil doll? This is 1978, and it stars a very, very, very young Anthony Hopkins, and it's also directed by Richard Attenborough. So I didn't know that either. So I think I have seen Magic before, but I haven't seen it in years, so I'm really looking forward to checking out Magic again, because, anything with Mr. Hopkins, or Sir Anthony Hopkins, excuse me, is worth the watch, Okay, so the synopsis for Magic reads: a ventriloquist, can't believe I got that word right, a ventriloquist is at the mercy of his vicious dummy while he tries to renew a romance with his high school sweetheart. Right, sold. Okay, so that is coming on to Shudder on April 3rd, and that is Magic. Next up, we have Don't Panic, and that's from 1989. This is directed by Ruben Galindo Jr., and it's streaming on Shudder April 4th. The synopsis for Don't Panic reads, I don't know this one, to be honest. On his 17th birthday, a boy named Michael has a surprise party thrown by his friends, where a session with a Ouija board accidentally unleashes a demon named Virgil. It sounds like a very evil demon. Virgil the demon, who possesses one of them to go on a killing spree. Michael, now plagued by violent nightmares and premonitions, sets out to try and stop the killings. That sounds epic. So it does. Let's read that again. His 17th birthday, a boy named Michael has a surprise party thrown by his friends, where a session with a Ouija board accidentally unleashes a demon named Virgil, who possesses one of them to go on a killing spree. Michael, now plagued by violent nightmares and premonitions, sets out to try and stop the killings. This is directed by Ruben Galindo Jr., written by Ruben as well. The cast is John Michael Bischoff. I know that name. Gabriella Hassel, Helena Rojo, and the language is English. So, next up, not even a picture or anything for this, pretty much everything's accompanied by a picture, not even a picture for this one. This one's called Bog, and this is from 1984. And I'm going to say this is some straight up Lovecraftian Innsmouth stuff. Synopsis reads: dynamite fishing in a rural swamp revives a prehistoric gill monster that must have the blood of human females in order to survive. Sounds ridiculous. It does sound quite Lovecraftian. And if you're not familiar with The Shadow over Innsmouth by H.P. Lovecraft, it's got like a lot of gill people in it. It's very, very good. Very, very yucky graphic. Okay, so that is Bog. That is directed by Don Kieslar, and it's streaming on Shudder April 10th. Yeah, not even a fucking picture. Next up, we have Final Exam from 1981, the year I was born. Directed by Jimmy Houston, and it's streaming on Shudder April 17th. The synopsis for Final Exam reads: in a small college in North Carolina, only a select few students are left to take the midterms, but when a killer strikes, it could be everyone's final exam. Yeah, okay, that sounds just like a million other things. But like, 1981 still one of the OG slashers, where we've only after seen like Halloween. This is sort of like this is everybody jumping on the bandwagon of the slashers pretty much, because of the success of Halloween, etc. Anyway, that's that one. Next up we have, Primal Rage. I know this one. From 1998. This is directed by Vittorio Rambaldi, and it's streaming on Shudder April 17th. Synopsis, very short, straight to the point. A baboon escapes from a Florida campus lab and starts spreading something bad with a bite. This is really, really good. I loved it back in the day. Has it aged well? We're going to find out very, very soon. And that is streaming on Shudder April 17th. Next up, we have Darklands, no picture again. And this is the last and final one. This is from 1996, sorry. And it's directed by Julian Richards. It's streaming on Shudder April 17th. So the synopsis is: a reporter investigates ritual profanations and finds himself involved with a druidic cult. More Lovecraftian sort of culty stuff. I'm always down for some cult movies. I love them. This is from 1996. I know the name. The plot isn't ringing a bell at all, though. But anyway, that's from 1996, called Darklands, hitting Shudder on April 17th. And that is it, guys, for the Shudder program for April. I hope that there's something in there that will tickle your fancy, as they say. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. And if you like the video, hit the notifications, hit the subscribe, and all that. Isn't that right, Boo? Boo, we're going now. Say bye. Bye. Bye.